Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Siddha webinar series. So today's topic is on food. So this is a very interesting topic. The reason why we chose this topic was because of the suggestion from various parents. They have especially when people they are attending our retreats, they have challenges. Even though we give conscious food in our retreats, they feel it difficult to implement in their house. So they say my kid is eating only junk food. What can we do? Right. So now the question is for the parents. So first I want you to list what did you eat today. So if you had a breakfast, can everybody put in the chat what was your breakfast like? So I'm not going to be judgmental on this because everybody need a scale like where we are in terms of conscious food. So I'm picking this from the a group consciousness of the Siddhas, and that will be the baseline, and we'll see where we get from there, so if the level is here somewhere, how far are we from that? Are we in the red zone, which is below this, or are we in the orange zone, or we are very close to the green zone? That's what I'm talking about. So when we talk about red zones are going to be dangerous for you. It's going to give problems. Your kids will have problems. You will have problems. That is for sure. It's nothing. There's no magic or anything that will prevent, unless you are very highly meditative and do some process to bless them and do things. That's not going to change. So that's the red zone. Very dangerous foods, which you may not know right now, which I'm going to explain, right? So others can list what food you are eating, so I can say whether this is a red zone or green zone, or it's very difficult to assess with one thing, but generally there is a saying like, what is based on what do I choose this. So there is a science behind that. Okay, so I'll ask few questions so you'll try to understand what's going on, and we can come to a some kind of a consensus. Okay, so so here we see Muthu, fermented rice and lemon pickles. Okay, so Dr. Gupta ji is asking what do you mean by red zone, which I'm going to explain. Okay, and Jill says breakfast, a bit of bread with chickpeas, vegan sausage, and a cup of coffee with almond milk. Okay, a spoon of strawberry jam. Okay, so let's say, Andy, I just spend time doing econ, and okay, ate nothing at 3 m. So 3, okay. Dosa with tomato chutney. So okay, so let us look at so people who believe that they are eating conscious food, and that's a belief system. And where are we? And so others also kindly list everybody ate a breakfast. I hope everybody ate some kind of a breakfast. I know that some of you are fasting. I understand that, but generally, okay. Please list everything here. I'll give some time so that we can be very interactive. Yeah, I'll wait for you. Give a couple of minutes. List down all the foods. Okay. apples. So melon fruit only, multigrain kanji, apples, urud green dal, kanji soaked peanut with banana. Okay. Urud green dal kanji and soaked peanut with banana. Okay. Apples. Kanji. You can see, there's nothing like wrong or right. It's okay because the idea is to understand whether what we're doing is conscious or not based on the Siddha's principles, how you look at food, right? So is that all? Like what about the others? Few more are here. Deepa, Sarah, please list down. Yeah, kindly. Okay. Right. Okay. So if you really had some food, it's okay. If you don't know your item, it could be your cultural thing also. That's okay, right? Anything, Yeah, the question is about like food. What did you eat for breakfast? The reason I'm asking is so that I can answer you better. So if we are looking for some kind of a food that is conscious, that's what you're going to, give it to your kids. And we want our kids to be conscious also, right? So the level goes like this. If you're conscious, if you're in a red, really a green zone, which is a very safer food zone, most likely your kid shifts between 70% they will be in like orange, 20% they will be in green, and 10% they can go red. But you're in an orange zone, which is in between. The chances are that 70% orange, 10% they can go to green, and then the rest is for orange, the red. So if you're in red zone, most likely your 70% is red, your kid will eat, and not 70%, 100% you'll eat. The chances are your kid will eat red food. So it can go only below the worst. If there is another thing more than red, I will put there, dark red, maroon, whatever it is. So the idea is that how do you know whether the food is good? So many things are there. So I am eating it for so long, nothing happened to me. These are some common things, we have been eating for generations, and we also comment that these people were eating for generation, nothing happened, because we don't measure things that way. There is no measurement as a scale to measure. These people did this. All the risks are like very limited. They are the parameters that they choose are very limited parameters to assess, and even many things like blue zones and all these things are limited. They measured what they eat, etc., but which is good, at least they made some measurements. But in general, the food, how do we classify food? So we take this way. Okay, take very common sense. So I take some grain. I'm growing, like we used to grow this ragi, all the bajra, all those things, the millets. And it comes to our house where, grandparents bring this, and they beat with a stick, and then, they dry it, they come along with the crop, they harvest, and then they grind themselves if they wanted to make a flour. We have this grinding stones, and then we are using directly. Okay, so this is one way. And the second level was that when the industry is developed, like we had like machines that were run in a common place. So we buy stuff, we bring the grains and give it to the machine. Say, for example, if you buy wheat doesn't grow somewhere. We buy wheat from somewhere, from a shop. Wheat used to grow. There's a different type of wheat, is buckwheat, we used to grow that. But if you want to make a flour, instead of my grandparents, grinding, my mother level, they took it to a machine, that will run this a grinding machine, and will make a flour out of it. And I'm talking, when I say my grandmother, it is for everyone I'm talking about, right? And then my wife's stage, they buy the direct flour. Somebody makes the flour into a atta, or what you call the dough, or what you call the can you help me with the words? What you call batter, right? So batter, they directly buy, and they can make dosa or other things. This is an example. So each culture, things can vary from different cultures, what you did. And in the Western culture, this was very advanced long time back. We see these machines and all are, and it went to a level where, and my kids' generation, where we are eating, that's what I'm seeing. We are seeing 4 generations. Coming from India, we see this 4th generation of things happening. But this has happened in the West long time back. If you see, like, another 50 years back, there will be bread. So today the kids generation will directly eat the food. It is, you can buy a bread, right? Or you order from a restaurant, some dosa or something like that. And this is the culture, today's culture. Okay, so it looks like we have advanced from ancient to modern. Okay, so because ancient we didn't have these things, and so therefore this is a development kind of thing, right? That's normal, like how humans think. It's kind of part of a development. And what would be the future if this was the development? What would be future? Can anybody suggest, like, what would be the future, next level, what you want to achieve if this was really a natural thing that happened, right? And what would you achieve in the next level? What would the food wanted to be? So who is please suggest. My suggestion is food should come as medicine. We can do some injections. That's it. That's the simplest thing. So we'll put some injection, and the injection will take care of everything. So that is the advancement, next level. So what is your everybody's suggestion? Like in terms of advancement, it should be very fast, quick, and we should get energy, right? Like an energy drink or something like that. We should not be spending time on cooking or doing anything. This is advancement, right? So that's my view is, okay, this is the advancement. Next level would be just eat with any highly processed that can go directly, so that I spend minimum time on preparing food, anything like that. So you suggest, everybody suggest, what would be the next advancement? What do you expect? I want everyone to type down food packets like astronaut. Yes, right. Yeah, water capsule and vitamin and mineral capsules, right? So this is the advancement. Please go ahead, everybody. Kavita and Sarah Oval, I'm seeing, yes. Deepa, everybody, please try to be interactive. Kindly share. What is the next level of food you're expecting? That is advancement. So Jill is expecting organic food as 100 years. Better forest that grows in 10 years. Okay. Yeah. So we think that modern thing has advanced. Right? That's our nature. I think the whole process is that fast food means something happens. So we created fast foods basically from slow process, from the way it is grown, through the way it is processed in terms of making a flour or anything, and then making a bread or anything, right? And then preserving that. So there was a process involved in that, and now it becomes so that we need everything fast, right? So I used to go to I did organic campaign like 10 years back, more than that, not 10 years back. Yeah, I think it's probably 15 to 20 years back, 15 plus years, right? 3-4 years. I was doing organic camping in 2010. We had a conference in New Jersey Institute of Technology on organic technology, and then New Jersey had an organic garden on top of the the terrace garden. New Jersey Institute of Technology. We implemented organic farming in New Jersey, around 50 houses. They were successful. We were targeting like around 500 houses, but we successfully made organic gardens there. And then we started to bring those vegetables into a common place, like a community kitchen. And then we took the food and served voluntary basis. We did this, right? But not much changed. So when I go to play people, because we were commonly involved in a meditation process, so everybody were very deep meditators. We had high level of meditation techniques. We understood. We all were meditating. But what they did not change was the food. So I go to their houses, some of the houses were not very keen on the organic technology I was talking. So they would bring some chutneys that were kept for a month, and then they serve me. When I go there, they'll bring like last week I kept this week. Many things they will be, if you look at the fridge, a lot of stuff stored. And I have practically seen what kind of problems they had. I don't want to be judgmental, but they had serious problems within that short time, from the time we did. So even though they are very good meditators, right, their mind level is good, but they haven't changed at physical level. So just by the belief is that, because the organization that I was part of it, saying that when you meditate, everything will be taken care. So meditation was given importance, but that meditation should transform you. If it didn't transform, then what is the use of that meditation? So what happens, like if you look at the modern way of looking at it, is a very, very wrong way. Modern way do not have this kind of thing that can show like how the ancient people looked into. They went deep down. It's not about breaking into carbohydrate, protein, eat your protein food. If you see protein, zoom in and protein is protein. For example, I will tell you, at one point, this hair, they used to shave the hair in India and all, we give the hair to the temples. And some of the temples, the big companies, chocolate companies, they buy this hair from them, right? And they clean it up and then they grind it and they mix with the chocolate. Because I had a chemistry Ph.D. Student a long time back, 25 years back. He was making some, he was detecting all this, did some research on this, and they found, these chocolate companies, what they do. So if you zoom into that, if you look at, it is completely protein. There is nothing like wrong in terms of hair, right? If you zoom in, it's all protein. So in terms of modern science, you're just eating protein. There's nothing wrong. How many of you are comfortable eating this hair? Tell me. It's just protein. How many? I'm not. I'm not for a reason, not because I don't like the hair or something, because I know how energy works. If you take your hair, you can convert yourself. It's a biomagnetic imprint is there. Your biomagnetic imprint is there in the hair. So whatever you are doing, it will capture. Your memories are there. Similar to how fecal transplantation is done, when unhealthy person's fecal is transformed into healthy person, the unhealthy person becomes, cures very fast, and then get cured fast, and then they start to behave like the host. The behavior. So that's what the mRNA was found. In the modern science, they link the messenger RNA, the link between gut and the brain. So in the ancient science, we say that your behavior, like whatever, when your excretory materials have your behavior imprint, your memories are there. So somebody takes that, they start to behave. If you take like hair from somebody and you're eating, you will have amazing kind of imprint, right? Imprint of many people, their memories, their karma come into you. Okay. So if it is naturally happening, fossils and all these things, they have the natural cycle as different things. It will heal, the imprints and all are grounded. That's a different thing. Every plant is also observing human dead waste and everything. That's eating. But that's a different story. Imprints are not there. But here, you get the imprints. So all this protein, all this are nonsense. There's nothing to do with this. It's a very, very common sense. I usually tell this example of an elephant. An elephant, what does it eat? How does it produce protein? How does it produce calcium? Think about it. Ask these questions. And where does the calcium source, protein, etc. come from? If you look at the sources, the traces, there is more magnesium component in, like, especially in the Indian kind of places in Africa. There are different parts of the world where elephants are, where they feed, the magnesium component is higher, and you will have traces of something called calcium or even the protein sources. But the body has the capability to convert. This intelligence converts. So it's not that, you will have to eat protein to get protein. You have to eat, vitamin to get. This body's intelligence will convert. It knows what to convert. You have to eat only food. So if you're not eating the right food, you will have a serious problem. This body doesn't like it. And you will not get a disease immediately. Sometimes the food looks good, tastes good, like all the old food that you're eating. Think about all the old food. So Muthu is eaten some old food. Tell me whether it's good or not. Muthu, as today's breakfast was red rice fermented. He fermented old rice, right? Last night he cooked the rice and put it in a pot, old rice, and he fermented, and morning he eats. It's a old rice. Is that a problem or not? Tell me. Anybody? It's good. Deepa says it's good. Why, Deepa? Why it's good? Kavita is not a problem. Why it is not? Tell me.
Sir, Deepa speaking.
Yes.
I heard that fresh make night food with fermented is having a probiotic thing which helps for our digestion, good
Yes.
bacteria.
Excellent. Excellent. That's right. So they
Thank you, sir.
develop microorganisms. So, but this is in a modern science. In the ancient science, there is a process happening. It's a moon food. The moon is responsible for fermenting it. In the night time is the moon taking over. So it becomes highly compassionate food overnight. So this way of fermenting, for example, the ancient Indian people understood that, say for example, you have a food, how to change that food. So say we have excess food, example, right? So afternoon mostly the rice was the main thing in the south, and millets was mostly in the wheat and all are very less throughout the India before the Green Revolution came from United States. But before that, the way they consume is the rice, right? So the rice was the main consumerism in India. So when they eat, they make excess rice. For example, your child did not eat rice in the afternoon. He did not eat the quantity required. So the excess food, either way, two ways they do. If it is too much, then they convert that food into puliyodara. Puliyodara is like a tamarind food or lemon rice. So now other rices all have come. But tamarind and these rice, what does it do is they act like a preservative. So they can eat in the evening. Okay, so this is allowed natural process. A process that is tamarind, both are preservatives. Even if you put kokum, is a highly very good preservative. It's healthy. So the same rice, that's why the rice, cooked rice, when you add water, another process is happening. So this is an enhancement process. Okay, so there is a difference between the ancient processing step versus the modern processing. Modern people do not understand energies, how energy is converted. In ancient days, they have given how energy is converted, right? Say food, you take vegetables. I pick my vegetable from my garden. I see the difference because I have a garden. I used to. Now the weather is bad. When I pick the vegetable from the garden fresh, within 3 hours I cook. The energy is top level, high level energy you get. Every 3 hours it gets down. The energy drops down like this. Every 3 hours. So the older the vegetable, the energy is less. If you freeze the vegetables, there is no energy. It will all fill you. It will make you happy. Energy will not be there. If you're using an organic frozen vegetable, you may get, there is an Ama Bhaga, Bodha Bhaga, and Amrita Bhaga in food. So Amrita Bhaga is the essence. The more the Amrita Bhaga, the more you live. The more the Ama Bhaga, the quicker you will die. And it will give disease. So here, suppose you are taking a frozen vegetable. If you're buying a frozen vegetable from a shop, it is Ama completely. Because it's years, how long you have kept, it becomes like Ama. Because time runs, no matter how you freeze, time runs there. Right? Suppose you are taking organic frozen, it can become Buddha Bhaga. Those Buddha Bhaga are neutral things that they deposit unwanted fat, unwanted, you become, obesity, all these things comes. But the other one red. So in order to have a green one that doesn't affect you, Amabhaga, you should not be freezing it. Okay. So if you put in the refrigerator itself, you will have problems. Okay. So this is how things work. This is the energy level they are talking about. The energy decreases. So if you are making a cooked item also, that's the next level of energy. First level of energy is the freshly picked things. Second level, after cooking, every 3 hours the energy will drop. So if you're eating morning and you're keeping it in the evening, that will drop. But when the sun sets, some new process happens. That's why Therier, sage scientist Therier, one of the sage scientists, he says, even if you give Amirdam, even the food is Amirdam, I forgot the quote. உண்ணும் உணவு அமிர்தமாயினும் அடுத்த நாளினில் அதை சாப்பிடாது. So don't eat, even if it is an amirda, don't eat the next day. Old food says. So that is the thing. So next day, when it comes to next day, except for this fermented rice soup I am talking about, it's a different process. But in general, keeping a food, if there is a process, for example, pickles, we make a process. That's a process, scientific process. So this rule does not apply to everything. Like what Therier says, it applies to cook, all the other food, except that the conscious processing step is done. Then those foods will not have problem. So if you look at all the pizzas, bread, everything they make in the modern thing, so they will keep the fridge, the dough itself come from fridge. They claim that because we used to, the kids like pizzas. So we found we thought it was a conscious, there was one new company that came, they use organic ingredients, all those things. And they make a pizza, but they make in front of us, in your eyes. But this is the process here. The pizza that comes out, the dough is already prepared. See, keeping a dough, wheat prepared, fermentation is dangerous. Wheat should not be fermented. So then the dough comes, so the dough is already prepared. They keep it in the fridge. And then in front of us, they will take the dough and make the thing. That's not fresh. So what happens? This will give a lot of ama created. So if your kid is continuously eating these kind of pizza, I am talking about even the conscious shop, which we thought, is conscious, and we limit ourselves to maybe monthly once they might eat, because they are exposed to this kind of culture, right? But still, then it has a problem. So think about the normal pizzas that you're eating from all the big giants, corporate giants. They all have all the ingredients that you look at as a problem. Ingredients are highly genetically engineered. They put a lot of chemicals. All the bread smells like you feel like eating. If you go to all these shops, you feel the bread itself like smells, you get attracted. So that's how the chemicals, they understand the scientists understand what kind of chemicals can attract so that they get addictions. So that's how they do this. So it is going to cause a lot of problems. So parents should understand this. Whether you're going to a Indian restaurant, which you think is conscious, they put a lot of oil, the old oil. All the Indian restaurant, if you look at, all the oils are very bad oil. So they don't throw the oil. Unless when they are really conscious. See, the main thing is, how will a person be conscious? Only when that owner follows conscious rule. So I interviewed with, because I had friends who carrying restaurant. I talked to the owners. What do you eat? How do you eat? Within few minutes, I'll find out what would be the level of that restaurant food. So, so that is why it is important. So what your kid likes, you have to be very cautious now. What you make him eat. So here are some things that we can make at home very easily, simplified food that you can. So this is one of the retreats I'm going to teach this. If you happen to be, this is a well planned one on April last weekend, that's the 26th, I think. The March we have a retreat coming up in that, also will be doing some cooking here, and April 24, 25, 26 we will have an exclusive retreat for parents and kids join together, and we make each of them cook for each other and make them eat. So each one will enjoy and they will learn. All the children will learn. Parents will know what to make in the modern society so that they can eat. So I have lot of recipes. I cannot share all the recipes here at this moment. It takes a lot of time. But I can share one or two recipes, like very conscious breakfast, few recipes in the circulation. So if you can join our group, those who haven't joined our group, please join our group. There's a link here. Finish a share. So from our IT, so you can become a, and also you can become a member to attend this. So these workshops, these retreats and all, you can attend a number of retreats, any number of retreats. So Muthu has been attending almost 6-7 retreats continuously. So if you just become a member, and your family, if you're adding families, is nothing. So you become a member, you add. But the main point here to tell, because in one day we cannot cover all these things, right? In a very short time, we cannot cover rest of the, lot of things. But you make, like for example, I made my kids eat fermented rice soup, which is number one. And they liked. One of the kids, he still eats. The other kid, some days. So that's okay. We made them eat pongal. Pongal is a whole grain food. Think about, don't worry about what culture you are, where you belong to. Only choose conscious foods across the world. Across the world. You see whether if it may be more from the South Indian food, doesn't matter. Right? Some Gujarati's food. There are Himachal food. There are amazing foods. Across India, there are, in different cultures, they made some things very unique. It's very unique. So you can take that. Somalia, I mean the Bali culture. They have something, Indonesia. They have some unique food, how they make preparation, all those things. So you can find recipes across the world that are conscious and put all this together as a package. Right? I made this, and I have a culinary science course completely that I teach how to cook, what kind of utensils we use, so that first we prevent major damages for kids. So you have to restrict your kids to not eat outside on a regular basis. So for example, in my house, we made this rule that they wanted pizza, and we have this conscious pizza, whatever it is, those choices are there. So they can do once in a month. So once in a week they go for a outside food, like the school, or they go to restaurant. So this way we restricted, and within that restriction we tell them these things they can eat, and this has so much oil, other things, and we fill them those days when they know that. What do I do? When I know that they are eating that restaurant food that particular day, I'll make a snack, very heavy snack that they will like. Let's say for around, if they're going to 6:30, they're going to this dinner, around 4 o'clock, I'll make another food that will fill them. And the other rule is they cannot take home anything. Whatever they eat, they cannot save it for the next day. So this is a rule. So with this, I restrict them to eat minimum. See, this is the world, so we cannot tell them, Kids are, they are abstract thinking. They want to explore things, and they won't worry about, like, the consequences right now. If they are little older, like 20, 25, maybe they will. But I am keeping on, telling them this is the thing, and we don't eat. My wife and I don't eat this stuff. So that if I'm going to a restaurant, I know what to, either I'll keep quiet, I'll know what to eat. For example, I'll get a dal makhani, which is whole grain, and they can be less. Whereas I am, if you're eating a malai kofta, for example, right? They make with all kind of, they eat half and half. You'll add all this creamy thing, like all the, and many oily things are very tasty in the restaurant. They put all the old oil on top of it. All this will block your damages. All the heart attack that you get later will be because of how much you eat here. Tomorrow you don't have to worry for surgery, all those things. All your things will not work out. All this, what you're paying, insurance, all this will not help. When you have a heart attack, it's a damage. But that is happening right now because of the food that you're eating. So don't trust on anything that you eat. Just do research. What do these restaurants, are these restaurant people joining together and say, okay, let's do some conscious food so that other people, get benefited? Do they do like that? Restaurant people. They say $12.99. I have seen one advertisement in one of the groups in New Jersey thing. They are putting $12.99. I have a Kalyanasura marriage food. So they're putting 20 items. So people get attracted. It's only $12.99. If they want to make $12.99 such a food, how cheap ingredients they have to put? What are the things they will use? Think about it. So don't go by money and you getting more. It won't work out that way. Conscious food cannot be got outside. You will have to cook. Use minimum processed ingredients. If you get a whole grain or a partial processed, such as a flour or a suji, like broken wheat, those kind of thing, you can have minimum damages. The more you have highly processed, ultra processed, right? Highly processed, like the pasta and all those vermicelli, all those things, right? Within the highly processed, you have to go for 100%. It should be organic. And if you go for like millets or some other things, it is okay to some extent. It's not the best, but you have to be conscious. If you want to, because of the kids, you're giving this to kids, you have to make sure highly processed is organic, so you have less damage. I'm not talking they're going to be healthy. They will have less damage. It has to be organic, right? And then you add all other vegetables. For example, I get an organic millet based noodle kind of things, right? So I add the ingredients to make it, to neutralize. I add more vegetables and then grind some things and add it. And I add, definitely I add some super herbs like karisale, for example. I will add karisale most of the time. Karisale is a super herb, or moringa. These kind of hidden things, the 10 things that will do some amazing work. Because our current kids, they are into that high level process, or they will go for ultra process. Ultra process is directly buying the bread, directly eating a bar, etc. So the directly breaking definitely is dangerous, no matter what. So allow them to go for at least this, so in the home, you try to get whole grain so that they, whatever they do is not in your control, so they will do minimum damage to them. This generation of kid will all have problems. All will have problems. If you look at after 25 years, major problems will happen. This is also been predicted in the ancient, but they will learn after, they're suffering by themselves, they will come up with something. That's a consciousness thing only, right? But this is you're going to see this. But I will have major damages, because if, as a parent, if you are changing, if you don't know that my dosa batter is kept for if it is kept 48 hours, it is the fermentation, it's good bacteria. After 48 hours, it will drop. Bad bacteria are formed, it will damage your thing. Even though you're thinking idli is a very good food, it's a steamed food. Steamed food is very good, consciously cooked. Whereas the batter is bad, you will have problems. So it doesn't matter whether you're a vegetarian or non-vegetarian, all these things. Beyond this, you will have damage. And all the non-veg problem is huge. All non-veg people will have disease, 100%. Because the way the processing step is not only in the way it is processed after the meat is processed, but before itself the animals are processed. So the chances of non-vegetarian getting disease is also very high, very high. Okay, so I'm just not talking about conscious. Siddhas don't. The first thing is Kolame is the first principle of Yamavidhi. Yamavidhi is not doing, non-killing is part of the Yamavidhi. Okay, that's the first step for evolving as a human being, right? But even then, the eating this, in a processed environment, you're just going to eating a chicken or something in a restaurant is going to damage a lot. Industrial processing is so huge and this is not picked by me alone. All the very intellectual people in the West, they come up with this called health coach. The health coach business is hugely recommended, removing a dozen of things that will cause problems. And mainly the meat industry, milk industry, all have damages. When you remove the meat and milk from your diet and all the white processing stuff, all the white things like, rice, white rice I'm talking about, white rice, white maida, this kind of stuff, you can, white sugar, all these things, if you remove, then your majority of 50% of the disease is gone. So next only comes the pure, what do you eat? So add super herbs, all the superfoods. Every day, take some ashwagandha, take some karisale, take some brahmi, add it, tip all the, see, for example, cloves, all the spices are not an ordinary thing. Clove is a very conscious, it will remove all your thing. Black pepper will remove all the congestions, all the kapha in your body. Like that, they all are conscious. All the ingredients. Do not underestimate the ingredients that your ancestors gave. They are amazing. See, who would just taste it raw like a jeera and they'll eat? Think about it. They understood that should be eaten. So it become part of a culture. But right now, today, they don't want to buy even kadi patta, like curry leaf. They just want to cook like modern thing, you steam. No. The kadi patta, if you add that all the nervous system problems, you will prevent nervous system problems, right? Paralysis, all these things, it prevents, like kadi patta prevents 50 disease every day. Kadi patta is, I'm talking about curry leaf. But you may not be knowing, it's a daily cooking, you know that, and you will not get curry, you not give importance to kadi patta. You don't care whether you should have it or not, and you don't take effort to buy that, whatever way. So whatever ancestors did, do the same process. How they put it in the oil, put the tadaka and all these things, they will pull, the oil will pull this. The oil will transmit, bring its access as a medium, and you take it into the different organs in our body. So this is how it works. So now I'll open for a few questions. Please add comments, questions, everything is welcome. Yes. Yes, Shiva, the Aruna, Pulse, everybody, please go ahead for questions.
One quick question.
Yeah.
How about the peanut powder that we get? Is it
So if it is a peanut
processed
powder, you can make the peanut powder is very easy. Why do you want to buy anything that's if something is difficult you want to buy? But peanut powder is very easy, no? You can even buy, there's a 2-3 brands are there. One is Mantra is also a brand. You can get in an Indian store, you can get organic peanuts. Not always, but most of the time you'll get it. So get that and just grind it. You're from India?
Yeah, yes.
If you're from India, I mean, you look at organic sources, they do sell organic peanuts. The Indian variety, most of them are organic by nature, the small peanuts. So now the jumbo peanuts that came from the West, that only is the problem. That's an engineered peanut. But otherwise, the small variety that we have in India is mostly organic made. So you buy those, you grind, that's all. There's nothing you can make it a little dry and grind, or you can, yeah. So you don't buy those things. Why you need, that's the thing is like whether you're making you can make your own peanut chutney or whatever you want, So don't go for processed directly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So Andy wants to kill a deer and eat. Okay, deer. So why you wanted to eat that way? Because you wanted to preserve the nature. Andy, so this is the thing. That hunting kind of thing is like whether you wanted to become an human being, like an ordinary survivor human being, or a higher conscious being. So it depends on what you want to be. You can kill and eat if you don't have other skills. Okay, it's not a requirement. If you don't have higher level of development on the skills, like if you don't have other kind of, if you don't know how to cook, you can go kill and eat. It's not a problem. But whether your level, so here is the Annamaya Kosha. If you're living in Annamaya Kosha, you're at level 1, that's survival mode like animals. So there will be no karma for you. But people who want to evolve, Manomaya Kosha, only think now whether it's a good vegetarian or non-vegetarian. Thinking happens. But when you want to shift to Pranamaya Kosha, it's already no killing. That's where the Yama Vidhis, the no killing only takes you to Pranamaya Kosha. Then only you will start understanding energy. And then from there, you will evolve into higher levels of, Vijnanamaya Kosha and Anandamaya Kosha, like that. So that's an evolution. So it's a choice for you. Whether you wanted to be at level 1, you will not have karma. Those who kill and eat, they will not have karma if they haven't evolved. If they think if it's right or wrong, then only the karma comes. So next level, from Annamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, people have karma because they think. People who don't think, they are in the forest, they are just killing an animal, they don't have karma because they haven't evolved, they are still in the animal stage. So they live like animal and die like animal. It's a survival mode. So it depends, so what you wanted to become. Yeah. Organic ghee, there's some of this. See, ghee is not only organic. Ghee need to be conscious. It's not about organic. Chemical based or hormone based is not the only thing. If the cows are not treated in a particular way, you will have a huge karma in the ghee. So you have to find, there are some sources like, Two Brothers, all these companies, they do sell some things. They claim that they are conscious, that's what we see, but you have to do some research and then you can get those kind of food if there is a need, especially if you have a kid and you wanted, and things like that. But as I told you, is there a need? Do you need ghee? So, okay, no, I want calcium. Well, really, as I told you, the food that we eat is converted into saptadhatu, 7 types of tissues. In 7 types of tissues, bone is one of them. So that means every food we eat converts into calcium. So whether you believe in the ancient knowledge or whether you believe in a modern knowledge, this is the challenge for you. Which one do you believe? Your ancestral knowledge who have meditated and found this, or you wanted like a modern knowledge who are dying? the people who are dying. That's the challenge now. If you start to believe in the Western knowledge, it is all just a temporary knowledge. It's not a real knowledge. The ancient knowledge is got from divine. They meditated. There is no deadline for them. They are in a calm state. They directly downloaded, and that is the knowledge I am talking about. And that's not by one person, if it's to be a religious or something. It is from several thousands, right? Okay, so that is the whole thing. Yes. So when you call, so that is so you can find what is the best ghee, but ghee, especially when you wanted to find, in the old Western community, every cow is killed. Every cow, you a huge karma is there. If you take the ghee, you're part of that karmic thing, right? So do we really need that? That's the question. What are you eating for? Whether because you got used to it, right? Ghee used to have properties, very good conscious properties, because cow has a Surya Kedu Nadi which absorbs from the Kedu. That is the only reason in the ancient science we eat, not because of calcium. Calcium is a modern thing. So for calcium, if you want to take chia seeds, which has 40% more calcium than ghee. If you are not worried about the conscious part, which most people don't care about whether you're eating ghee, you become conscious, that's not the thing. But if you're really worried about the calcium part, the chia seeds has more calcium than ghee. So there is a simple answer, right? So that is the thing, So we got used to certain culture, and then we think that this is the kind of thing we have to go, right? So Andy, it doesn't matter which part of the world is greater or something like that. The world is only one world. It doesn't matter. The world we divided, there is no Southeast Asia, there is no other India, Pakistan, nothing is there. The world, this is earth. That's all. In this earth, there were some conscious beings, our ancestors, who had some conscious knowledge. Were we able to follow, no matter what it is regional or anything? Are you able to focus on that part of the world where they had that conscious knowledge? That's all. Simple. Right? You can call whatever your Siddhas, many Siddhas, they call everybody Siddhas only across the world. Siddhas are following conscious living. They are compassionate. See, for example, okay, what would be transition? See, this is Jesus. I'm carrying a sheep here, okay, and taking a picture. So Jesus is posing for a picture, like I'm conscious, right? He doesn't do that. But now I'm transitioning from this love. I'm saying that shepherd, the love given to the sheep. And then how I transition from the love to killing. How will the transition be? How will you start? Like now suddenly you get angry. What is killing mean? Think about it. From love, how do you kill? Tell me. So we have to execute a series. Yeah, that is a different story, Sandy. They are not serial killer animals, poor animals. What did a rabbit do? What did a deer do? Anything to you? So love is tough, so we murder. So that is the serial killers and all. That's the thing. Like they are survival mode. So it depends on what you are. You want to be a survivor, just a survivor as an animal, or you want to evolve? That's the question. Simple. Right? So we learn, because we all made mistakes in the past. It doesn't matter whether you have a non-vegetarian. My grandmother, they are completely non-vegetarian only, both sides. Only my great grandfather, my grandfather went to like ahimsa, my maternal. It's a very small part. So my parents, when I was born only, before that they were eating that. all kind of meat. But when I was born, they gave up this. But it is an evolution for them. Is the killing is not an evolution. You going and killing is not an evolved process. And you know that killing causes violence. You're stealing. You're not asking permission to that animal, right? And a little kid knows. If you put a bunch of, like fruits and give a, knife, and then you leave a bunch of rabbits and other animals where you kill and give the knife to the kid, what do they do? Kid is an innocence. It doesn't matter what culture they are. Bring all the Chinese, Japanese, Western, all cowboys, everybody, little kids. See what they will do. No matter what, they will not hurt. They will not think that's a thing to eat. So it really doesn't matter. So we have to evolve. There's no all these things that we have excuses is that we cannot evolve further. We have excuses to not do because we cannot come over senses. What we need to do in order to whole thing is to winning over senses. The exact God is opposite to what we think as enjoyment. Opposite. God is just opposite to that. The consciousness just we think that we'll eat this one day, and there only the consciousness is there. To evolve, if you turn that around it, upside down, the God is there. So each step of you doing the wrong thing, there's the God. So the opposite is the God. Whatever you think is an enjoyment, the opposite is consciousness. So that's how we evolve. That's the whole thing about the Siddha knowledge. Every Siddha did this. Right? They went into conscious level of living, and that's what they evolved. So if you want to take this as a scale, the Siddha scale is so high, but where are you close to that? That you should take. I am not an example, or anybody is not an example. Any guru is not an example. But the Siddha scale remains there. What the truth is. How far are we shifting toward? They are conscious beings, living beings. They lived in this world. Our ancestors, it doesn't matter what culture they are, we all belong to one great, huge humanity. That's all. Right? We separated ourselves. You think differently. Chinese look like this with your eyes. I look like fair. The Africans look dark. All these things we made ourselves. We thought they are different kind of people. No. Just one source. We all we evolved from that consciousness as one, right? This is the ancient knowledge that talks about how evolution happens, how we become the whole world, turn the human beings or the conscious living beings. They are gods. We are the avatars. Only when you understand. When we understand, we become the God. Okay, so that is the whole thing. So with this, any other questions? We can wrap up otherwise.
So, Dr. Shan,
Sir,
this recipes and further discussion about how parents can take care of the children's food. So, you're going to continue that in the WhatsApp group and next
Yeah, we'll give you a
retreats.
recipe. I'll give you like few recipes that you can follow. I can share that recipes in the group. Follow some simple recipes. Start with few things. And then we can go more and more. You will also explore and get conscious recipes. Make it. See, these modern kids, they want something delicious. They want choices. So like that, you have to make this. See, for example, I make ulandanjoro. Ulandanjoro is nothing but. See, ulandanjoro is like, ulundu is like urud dal. Urud dal is a type of dal called urud dal. U-R-A-D. Urud dal. Okay, you take black urud dal. And then we put red rice. Equal quantity. Then you cook. So you can add salt or 1:3 water you can add, and some fenugreek, handful, I say 1 cup means I will add a 1 teaspoon of fenugreek there. Right? When it's cooked, I'll grind some coconut, add a little bit of salt, and this can go with any recipe. So what I do on top of it, you put like the chickpeas or green peas, vatana, right? You make a you know a curry out of it, vatana, right? And you can keep that, and then you chop little onions like the chaat style, add the chaat stuff on top of it, and you give a spoon, they will love it. The same breakfast, it converted, it looked like a different item. See, you have to show them this item looks very different from top. Then if you want to add a conscious ghee, that's fine. Otherwise, add some olive oil or avocado oil on top of it. It's an amazing recipe. Very simple. I'll give you Gunulanjoro recipe. I'll give the recipe for that. Okay. So few things you can make for, I'll give at least 2 for breakfast, 2 for lunch, 2 for dinner, like that. And then you can add on to that. Okay, many conscious nowadays, a lot of things are found there. But find the formula like whole grain recipes. Go for whole grain foods. They're good. Find all the whole grains like khichdi, for example. It's a whole grain food. Go for it. Increase the number of whole grain foods. Make them eat. Make them eat in a different way. So how you present it, all these matters. So every day I take a picture of what I do because I can send it to people, me like. Because the way I present makes them attracted. Somehow we have to do this. And this world is not going to protect them. This world is going to spoil the kids. Okay, and all the business people are going to take over. They're going to, do damages, big damage. They just want money. That's all, nothing else. So there is no conscious evolving company. Very few people, they couldn't compete. They cannot advertise those. So they cannot survive, in this market. So yes, Brahmi, I will list 10 ingredients. Okay, I'll list 5 super herbs. I'll list every day that you can use, and 10 other spices and other things. Every day you use this, what we call as biryani spices, like what you're making for biryani, like the cloves, bay leaf, all these things. They all have amazing qualities. They made us eat this. But those all are added different ways. You can add in a tea. You can add. See, this week it was very cold. I made my kid drink some tea. I'll give you a tea recipe also. They like it. They love it. But it's all conscious ingredient. Nothing. There's no green tea like the tea leaves. Nothing is there. But they were able to drink that. See, there are the superfoods are like, they call the muppu. Like jeeragam is a muppu. Muppu means those foods are anti-aging. They'll keep you forever. So panam karkandu, panavellam. Panavellam means palm jaggery. Then we have the other one is the karkand. Karkand is the sugar candy, the big size. Karkand. There was an organic process. Nowadays they do refining. But unrefined panam karkand is there, not a chakara karkand. So those are muppu they call it Shakti muppu, Shiva muppu. Those muppus are very powerful. They can do a lot of good things. So this is a theory has given this. So like that, many sage scientists have given, Gunapadam, all those things they talk about which ingredient is conscious, how they affect us. So don't underestimate what you ate in the past. The culture has so many deeper things that we are trying to compare that with modern. Modern knowledge is important because in modern, we will understand what you should not eat in terms of refining and all these things. But otherwise, the ancient knowledge, as if they have eaten the way the process, it's an organic process. You would not have diabetes or anything. That is nothing to do with this. Nothing. You will never get diabetes if you are eating an organic, unprocessed, unrefined food. As it is, diabetic things will not happen. There is no study on people taking completely ancient rice. One culture taking ancient rice completely, like all the Jeera Samba, Maple Samba, Kaatiyanam, Kauni Arsi, all those, rices versus white rice, genetically engineered white rice. Okay, inorganic. So this study nobody has done. If you did do this study, I can definitely tell there will not be any sugar. All sugar is caused by modernization. It's not about the ingredient. You're talking about white rice is bad. No, rice is not bad. So you're telling my grandfathers are fools, my ancestors are fools who learned so much. Rice is not bad at all. What kind of rice, how we are eating, all this matter. The quantity of rice matter. What kind of rice you can, yes, wild food you can get for a wild rice, bamboo rice, all these rice, they are very healthy rice, right? If you even can get directly from the forest, that's the highly rich micronutrients are there. That's a very, very important thing, right? If you're directly getting from fruits like jackfruits, all the sitapal, all those things, the trees are there for a number of years there, and very, very rich soil. From there, if you get direct, there's nothing like that. Wild is the best. First thing, wild fruits. I buy only wild fruits or purchase. If in the thing, I'll go for wild fruits, get some berries, all those things. I fill my stomach that way. There's nothing like that. That energy is very different. So you need to find ways to get your kids engaged in one or more than this. So I will add some things in the ingredient, what all you can do, so that one page thing that will be useful. Okay, but attend our, try to attend at least one of our retreats. Physically come, see there what all we do, how we cook, and like what we did last time, right? We did very Muthu, you can explain last time what you ate. So
Yeah, last time I learned how to cut the fruits and make a salad. Usually I just out of just being lazy, I just take the fruits, wash, and just start eating. But now, I mean, you taught us how to cut them into small
no,
pieces
that
and
is
mix
the
them.
best way. See, your eating is the best way. But in order for our modern people to attract, we need to do something. The way we do
Mm.
it, right? When it comes to process, is a conscious processing. Yeah. Yeah, go
No, the
ahead.
salad it tasted much better because you added that right mix of fruits and vegetables like a cucumber and guava, like that, right? So that made a big difference. Like, it's not like eating one fruit. If usually when I eat apple, the apple taste is in the tongue, but by eating like this, like, I can feel all the six different tastes and feel wholesome. Like, it feels. I felt that I'm eating real food, and it's very satiating.
What about the banana flour?
Banana flour too.
We
Yeah.
made banana flour.
Yeah, banana, not banana flour, banana flour, the actual flour.
Yeah.
So it
Banana
was
flour.
it was fantastic, and I mean, I love everything in banana, like banana, the stem, banana flour, and obviously the leaves you used to eat, the cooked food, all that, made a big difference. Yeah, I think we should do more of those things in our retreats. Like, I really feel that changing the food makes a big difference in our dinacharya.
Yeah, definitely. So that's the niyama. So please attend. March we have end of the March we have in Texas. So March 27, 28, 29 in Texas. And then April 25, 24, 25, 26 in Atlanta. And then May 22, 23, 24 in Boston. So whatever, and after that it'll come back to Binghamton. June onwards, my place I'll be doing June to August, September. So please, try to come and be, just try to attend one and see. I know you're going to spend your money, time, and everything for this. You have to purchase a ticket, you're getting lazy, all those things, and you're within your family, you are very tight, busy. We know all that. But this, I'm giving it from all the Siddhas knowledge together, right? Putting together. I'm practicing is for more than 40 years because I lived that way. So now I wanted to see like real time, like ancient recipes, what are the good recipes we can use, what are little ingredients that make changes for your body type, what small things we heard. So that is the kind of thing that I'm looking at in the coming workshops. How food can change without medicine. I haven't used medicine for more than 30 years, modern medicines, right? So even in very serious conditions. So how you can also be free from any medicine and make food as a medicine, main medicine, right? Food itself, and change everything just by using. We have amazing knowledge that in this culture that we got and we can give to the globe. Is no more you learning modern things. You have only time for ancient things. Modern things is a waste of time, I'm telling you. Don't spend your time on modern things. Go for ancient. There's a modern wisdom is there. That part you can take. Like for example, the organic and other things, there it's a modern wisdom. You need that knowledge. But not the like protein, all those things, understanding mechanisms, and then you kill yourself. When you understand a mechanism, you'll try to kill yourself. That's all. So go from a broader perspective of the ancient sage scientists, how they saw this, and whatever you think, you will become. You become whatever you think. That's all. If you think this is the way you want to die, this is the thing that happened to you in your life, you will die that way. But if you want to change and take the ancient knowledge and how the Siddhas lived, the life without death, then it is possible. It's all in your hands. So with this note, I thank you all for your precious time. Thank you. Have a great one.